it's time now to be joined by the founder of Gift of the Givers, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman. We're talking about Gift of the Givers and their intervention as far as Ukraine is concerned. Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Juma Mubarak. And as always, we welcome your presence here on Salam Media.
Wa alaikum salam. Juma Mubarak to you and to the listeners. Jazakallah for the invite.
Yes, Gift of the Givers, once again, Alhamdulillah, intervening as far as Ukraine is concerned. We know the situation. It is global news. It is one of the biggest issues at this point in time that the world is focused on. And let's just talk about Gift of the Givers and your involvement as far as the Ukraine initiative goes, Dr. Imtiaz.
We're working at several levels inside Ukraine. We're fortunate that a South African man from the Southern Cape, his wife is Ukrainian, and she's based in Ukraine. When the bombs fell in Kiev, she decided she managed to get out of Kiev and decided not to come back and, to see if she can help her own people. So she's got family there too. And then the gentleman called us, and on the 1st of March, we said, okay, let's see what we can get inside Ukraine instead of waiting for things to come from the outside. And immediately we started organizing them, we started guiding them what to do. They started finding a small shop, a bigger shop, warehouses. We started meeting mayors and other people to see what's available and where, and we started buying stuff. We started off in a place called Ivano-Frankivsk, which is on the western side of the border, which was generally fairly quiet, and a place called Dolina. Then I said, but what about the people in the other areas, where the hotspots? So then we managed to set up something in Kiev, something in Kharkiv, which is the most bombed city right now in the country. Well, virtually one of the most bombed cities besides Mariupol in the country. We set up something there, and then we managed to get stuff in a place called Slavotic. Now, Slavotic is completely closed. It's encircled by Russian troops. It's on the Belarus border. So we started with simple things in all four places: food, sanitary pads, diapers, bottled water, hygiene packs. We're giving to all these places, individuals in some places, and the groups of people. When we arrange, in Kiev, we managed to arrange a warehouse facility, sharing with other groups doing similar things. And people came then to the warehouse to collect their stuff and go away. You can't come all the time. The bombs fall at certain times. There's curfews at certain times. So when it's possible, you come and collect your stuff. Then in Kiev, the guys started arranging things. There were a lot of people, individuals, again, not hospitals, individuals who needed medicines. So he would try to find an open chemist, a pharmacy somewhere, and buy the specific medicines for those medical conditions and deliver it to those people. And we were sending the money from here all the time to one person, and that money was being distributed to all of our, I call them agents, in the different areas. We then went one stage further. An orphanage in Dolina and Ivano-Frankivsk on the western side called us. He said that a lot of kids are now starting to move from the east to the west. People are starting to move from the east to the west. And where it was relatively quiet before is now getting busy. So orphans needed bottled water, they needed clothes for the orphans, and they needed, food. So we started arranging that. Then the next phase came where people saying, but what about the cats and the dog? They're also hungry and there's no food. So we arranged pet food for the cats and the dogs, which are starting to be distributed in the same places that we are working. And then you got a desperate call from Kharkiv, one of the most bombed cities in the country, where a hospital director was sobbing on the phone and saying, I need certain types of medicines. They're dying without this medication. So we managed to source it. And I bought the entire consignment off and sent it to the hospital. Now, whilst doing all this, remember, these are ordinary people. They don't have trucks and vehicles and buses and everything to deliver things. These are just very ordinary people. Unfortunately, because of our presence and people started seeing what we're doing, somebody called us and said, look, we have vehicles and we're getting stuff coming in from Europe to the Ukraine border. And from the Ukraine border, we need to take this stuff inside Ukraine to the different areas. And we have 70 minibuses. But we have one major problem. We don't have money for fuel. And sometimes the trucks coming from Europe, it's all volunteers arranging goods. They can sometimes raise the goods, but they can't pay for the fuel for the truck coming to the border, and we can't pay for the fuel from the border to the inside. So I looked at it, I said, look, if our priority areas, need some stuff, can I get your stuff? Then I don't have to buy that stuff. If you have it. If you don't have it, I still have to buy it. They said, it's fine. I said, all right, I'll fund your trucks coming from Europe to Ukraine, and I'll fund the fuel from the border inside Ukraine. And immediately I released 20,000 liters of fuel to them. And they played their part. They've put our banners on all the trucks. They put our banners in their houses. If they got stuff that, it's not that they need, it's their own people that need it. It's basically, instead of taking it to Lens, you take it to Rudiport. Or from the Rudiport, you take it to Potterstroom. Something like that. So, the stuff came and we started getting them. And the delivery is increasing. The network is increasing, and more people are getting involved. Yesterday, we managed to get into Kherson. Kherson is closed off. You can't get inside. And we found some inside who can buy stuff inside. Not big amounts of stuff, but at least it can have some people. So those are the methods, the formula we follow inside the country. 5 key areas we involve: moving goods from the border inside, even funding the trucks coming from Europe to the border, and expanding to medical facilities. Kharkiv, we gave them the supply. Another facility in Kharkiv needs medical stuff. We're giving that. Slavic area is encircled by the Russians. Also, there's some medical requirements inside. We managed to find it inside. We're paying for that too.
Yes. Now, also, Dr. Imtiaz, I noticed that you are working with a number of organizations. You are partnering with a number of organizations, the Ukraine Association of South Africa. We see the Ukrainian ambassador also thanking Gift of the Givers for your involvement, and also looking at, certain families, like, for instance, the Ackerman Family Foundation pledging money towards the repatriation of South African and African students, and also engaging with the likes of DIRCO.
Yes, that's all wrong. The Ukrainian Association put money to our account yesterday. I've met them already. They spoke to me in the first week, and they said, they need help, what to do, and how to do. So I said, fine. And then in fact, this morning we were just talking. Do they want to fund the same areas that we're funding? Or, they may have family interests in other areas where there are, other people are. So we said, it doesn't make any difference. If you guys take care of 2 or 3 other towns, then we don't have to take care of that. But our same system, the same 70 vehicles, will assist in moving the stuff, to other, because I'm paying the funding fuel. So it doesn't matter whether it moves the stuff that they want to move, or the stuff that I want to move, or the stuff that that group wants to move. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's all people that need help. So we've told them to decide if they want to do some stuff where we are. Oh, because another thing happened in the last 2-3 days. 2 areas, one area has got now 650 refugees, and we already funded quite a bit of supplies for those 450 refugees in a smaller town. And now another area came, there's 6,600 refugees that have moved into that area, which we are now looking at starting to fund food and other stuff for this area, which I'm going to take a decision sometime later today. So they can contribute towards these 2 areas or the other stuff. So they've joined us. The ambassador met me on Wednesday in Joburg, and she said, thank you very much. Also, she wanted to discuss some ideas and some issues on how to do certain things, which I advised her, and she's been very, very grateful for what we've been doing. She thanked us at a press conference last week. I didn't know her. I never met her. I didn't even know how she knew what we did, but she announced it, and we were surprised that, that she knew what we were doing. So she thanked us, and, I said, our doors open, and she said she may have some stuff to fly over to the other side. I said we were going to do that. We were going to arrange a whole range of medicines to fly out, but I've decided to hold the medicines back because I want whatever on the western border to be cleared first. In a disaster situation, you don't want things to stockpile. You first want to clear everything that's there, and then you bring in new things. So maybe within the next week to 10 days, we might start flying medical supplies from South Africa to Poland, into the border, and inside Ukraine, because we're now building relationships with the health facilities, and we know what the directors are, and we know what's needed where. So it's giving us more time to build relationships. In terms of the Ackerman family, I met Susan Ackerman at the airport. She offered 1.5 million rand. I still didn't take the money as yet, because no South African has come forward who wants to come back home. No African person from an African country has come forward to come back home. Most of them are sort of heartbroken, and I understand their plight. They've studied for 5 to 6 years. It's the final year, maybe for medicine for some of them. And to walk away now means 5 to 6 years is gone. The study is gone, the money is gone, the future is gone. So they're trying their best to see if some university in Europe will take them, because I can't see the practicality of going back to Ukraine to university. What are you going to go back to? The country is being bombed, in very many areas where they are, the country is being flattened. So I don't think there's any university to go back to. So that's where we stand right now.
Yes, Dr. Imtiaz. And is there a fund set up for people wanting to contribute?
Yes, toll-free number, 0800 786 911.
Okay, 0800 786 9111. Jazakallah khairan so much for that.
Not 11, 911.
911. Okay, fine. Perfect. Jazakallah khairan so much for that, Dr. Imtiaz, and for coming on talking to us this morning about this initiative. Allah accept, Allah reward your efforts as always for the wonderful work that you and Gift of the Givers have been doing over the years. And Allah keep you, grant you the health and the strength to continue with the wonderful work that you are doing. And I'm just looking at a quick comment that has come through. Somebody has said, Subhanallah, Ajit Kumar says, you should be the next president of South Africa, Dr. Imtiaz.
I'm in the spiritual world, I'm not in the political world. Jazakallah. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum.
That was Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, Gift of the Givers, and this is their intervention as far as Ukraine is concerned. The time is just gone 8:34 a.m. We come back. We'll be joined by the founder and chairman of the South African Kashmiri Action Group, Salman Khan. We're talking about the Kashmir Files.